Greetings and salutations, it's another ScreenCast brought to you by Mr. L. Now, as educators, we are constantly striving to make the world a better place, but sometimes it's hard to fit that in our curriculum, right? Well, what if I told you that there was a book that gave you a process for just that purpose? That would be awesome, right? Well, you are in luck, because today we're going to be going over a book entitled Stirring Up Justice, written by Jessica Singer Early, for exactly that. Now, the book has 5 main chapters, and we'll just go chapter by chapter. So to start, Early starts the process by drawing students in with stories of their own creation. So let's take a look at what that might look like. So, the purpose of the unit that Early created is to create activism through writing, but it is a multi-step process that starts very basically. The chapter, Stories of Justice, starts by offering a series of workshops. The first being a workshop involving displaying simple children's books about activism. The theme of activism is going to play very heavily in this book, obviously. However, this workshop then leads into a section called Stories of Injustice, in which the students write narratives about stories of injustice in their own lives. You follow basic narrative pattern, focusing on story conventions, a lot of dialogue, and then the main part of the assignment is that the students will write if they were a bystander, a victim, or a perpetrator of the injustice, which can lead to some interesting narratives. However, the crux of this section leads to the illustration workshop, which is the creation of the students' own children's book with illustrations. Now, the students should have some illustrations that follow their children's book, with a social justice theme. But remember, when you are grading, focus on ideas and layout, not in skill in artwork. We don't want to penalize students that are terrible at drawing, things like that. Now, the idea here is that we move student thinking from social justice being an abstract idea that they just hear about in the news or in class to something that is relevant and meaningful in their lives and something that they can have an impact in. And Early suggests to create real activism, you send the stories that your students write to lower grade level classes. And then if the reaction is great, have the classes meet each other. This can create authentic and impactful events in students' lives where they can see their activism and their writing actually having an impact in the world. But never forget that revision and reflection are key to this process. Early heavily emphasizes reflection throughout this unit. The next chapter in Stirring Up Justice deals with the idea of book choice in an activist classroom. Early suggests that teaching classics is great for college-bound students and in general. However, it doesn't create an atmosphere conducive to activism. So she posits that an increased amount of choice in an activist classroom creates structure alongside of freedom, which is the idea that she's trying to press in this book. You may wonder, well, where does the instruction come in? So she tempers this idea with direct and close instruction in reading strategies for the students' choices. So, in your activist classroom, allow for freedom in choice of text. However, limit text to books about activists or activism, and create a list, but don't limit it to just that list. Also, Early suggests checking in with your students from time to time with quick formative writing assignments that judge student interests. Allow time to read. This can help you monitor student interest and student progress. Also, don't forget to give instruction in reading strategies, whether it's outlines, close reading strategies, or otherwise. That can help move the unit along. So now that your students have chosen a text, how do we apply this activism text to activism in writing? Well, the next chapter deals heavily in that subject. So our next chapter is entitled Writing into Activism and deals with how you write into activism, essentially. So at this point in the unit, you want students to continue to work with their activist text. An assignment that Early Early presents in this chapter is called the Turning Points essay, and is a short essay that deals with the turning point in the activist's life, or what essentially got them into activism. Now, then this section culminates in the students writing an expository article about their chosen activist, aptly named the Activism Article. Now, Early lays out essentially the assignment guidelines, and I will list them here. Some of these may need extra instruction, such as what a lead is, things like that if students don't have the journalism background. And then finally, she ends the chapter by stating that you would require more reflection from your students. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, hold on, Mr. L. What if I want to bring in other forms of media in this unit? How would I do that? Well, I would say, hold on to your knickers, because that's coming up shortly. Songs of Activists is our next chapter, and it deals with, you guessed it, music and activism. Now, there is a long history of musicians as activists, and Early makes it quite simple to bring that piece into your curriculum. First, she poses an assignment that is essentially a reaction to an activism song that you, as the teacher, choose. This introduces students to music and activism and allows them to work differently with the text that you choose. And finally, it culminates into an invitation to music, which is essentially you have students bring in music that they choose, activism music, and have the class listen to it. And then have them write short reactions in class to these songs. And essentially, this section deals with showing students that activism and writing can take many, many forms. All right, so how do we bring this all together? Well, let's take a look at that. So our final chapter is entitled Culminating Project, and it deals with how you bring all of this work that the students have done in this entire unit together. So, it should be based on the work that students have done previously, and then it should have a theme of teaching to promote positive change. Now, this places the onus on the students to essentially teach to promote positive change. And Early posits several questions and things that should lead the assignment. The first being, what issue would you like to work on? And then, how can you teach a new way of seeing or understanding the issue that can promote positive change? And then, after that is done, the students need to create a statement that is visual, oral, written, or musical. This statement will teach your message. This is essentially giving students the choice in how they want to approach this final project. And then the crux in the writing part will be to create an artist statement to explain their final project, and then this statement will be displayed with their project at the final gallery that you'll hold, where the students will sort of show off their work to other classmates and possibly people in the community. Now, this will involve the students becoming experts on whatever topic they decide to pick, and then you will have to have instruction on artist statements and abstracts, and then hold the final gallery in a place in the school, your room, something like that. And then, essentially, this unit and this curriculum will hopefully create students that'll go out into the world and create change and do the things that we set out to do as educators. And I have to say thank you for tuning in for another ScreenCast with Mr. L, and have a great night.